apologize. We did call a series of names to people and no one responded. It might have been that you would just stepped out for a moment.
If it was early this morning, that is altogether possible. My name is Tammy Simmons. I'm the Executive Director of the New Hampshire Advantage Coalition, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak here before the House Finance Committee this afternoon, as I believe the passage of Governor Lynch's proposed amendment, CACR18, would have detrimental financial impacts on all the people in New Hampshire. Everyone in this room understands that this isn't just about the constitutional amendment alone, but about the combination of CACR18 and House Bill 927, the adequate education bill that's in the Senate at this point. I cannot possibly imagine how anyone, including the chair today, which I have to give you credit because you did a great job today, and that wasn't just pandering, could say that HB 927, and I'm going to say subsequently CACR18, would have no fiscal impact, as you had stated on the House floor during the debate on 927 when asked why it didn't get a reference to the Finance Committee at that point. I also disagree with Governor Lynch that this amendment will ease the tax burden on the towns that are struggling the most, with the state providing 50%, although not every community is guaranteed that 50%. They're only guaranteed to get something. Municipalities will be left to pay the other half, or more if they receive less than 50%. Taxpayers can expect higher local property taxes due to unfunded mandates passed down from Concord, and the state will be forced to implement a sales or income tax to pay for their portion. How exactly will that ease the burdens of those poorer towns? CACR18's demand that the legislature define an adequate education for every school district will centralize the decision-making process for education spending, take fiscal control away from the townspeople, and put it in the hands of politicians in Concord. This will push the cost of education spending up dramatically, and in order to accommodate the endless special interest lobbying in Concord, and as more and more projects are put into each successive spending bill, more pressure will be applied to find a way to fund it. With a potential financial liability of over $2 billion, people will see few options other than a sales or income tax. CACR18 will not stop lawsuits. There is nothing in the proposed amendment that would stop the Supreme Court from serving up more of its supposed orders to adjust the education spending system higher and higher. It was equally disturbing to hear the governor say this morning that he believes that HB 927 will, and I quote, pass and be signed into law and sent over to the courts. Last I checked, the judicial branch does not have the authority over the legislative or the executive branch with regard to setting policy or implementation of any taxes. The legislature and the governor seem willing to capitulate to the unelected judges and allow them to impose demands they have no authority to do so. The only way realistically to protect the taxpayers of New Hampshire is to not permanently amend the Constitution with an ambiguous amendment that would open the floodgates to fiscal irresponsibility and a spending and taxing disaster in New Hampshire. It won't get us better education. It'll only add to the destruction of the New Hampshire Advantage. Based on these ideals, I urge members of this committee and the House in general to vote no on CACR18.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon. What will happen if we vote no and the Supreme Court's order of the Claremont case stands?
It'll just stand. The court does not have the authority to dictate to you in this room what you must do regarding legislation. They can say that something's unconstitutional and send it back, but they cannot look you in the eye and say, you must, by July 1st, do this, that, and the other thing. They do not have that authority. If I were a legislator, I would say, fine, thank you for your opinion. We'll take it under consideration and we'll do what we deem is best. People elected us to do this job. We took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the state of New Hampshire, and your authority does not reach into that area.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Once again, I apologize.